I still check my locks 3 times every night. My therapist says it'll fade, but she wasn't there. She didn't see what I saw. It started on New Year's Eve, 2023. I was house-sitting for my aunt in rural Vermont while she was in Florida. Big old farmhouse. Nearest neighbor maybe half a mile down the road. I didn't mind the isolation. I'd just gone through a bad breakup and, honestly, I wanted to be alone. Around 10 p.m., I was on the couch with some wine, half watching the Times Square coverage on TV. That's when I heard the knock. Not loud, just persistent. Tap, tap, tap. Pause. Tap, tap, tap. I opened the door to this guy, maybe mid-30s, wearing a nice coat, clean cut, holding a bottle of champagne. He smiled at me. "Hey, sorry I'm late. Traffic was insane." I just stared at him. "I think you have the wrong house." His smile didn't waver. "Sarah invited me. Is she here?" "There's no Sarah here. This is my aunt's place." He looked confused, pulled out his phone, showed me a text thread. "See? Sarah gave me this address. 247 Hillcrest Road." I felt a chill. This is 247 Hillcrest. We both just stood there for a second. Then he laughed, kind of embarrassed. "Man, I'm so sorry. She must have given me the wrong address as a joke or something. Wow, that's awkward." I told him it was fine. These things happen. He apologized again and left. I watched his headlights disappear down the driveway and went back inside. 15 minutes later, another knock. Different pattern this time. When I opened it, there was a woman, maybe late 20s, holding a bottle of wine. "Is this where the party is?" I explained the same thing. "Wrong house, no party here." She seemed genuinely confused, showed me her phone. Same address, 247 Hillcrest Road. She'd gotten the invitation from someone named Mike. I started feeling uneasy. 2 people, same night, same wrong address. She left, apologizing. Then at 11:20, another knock. A couple this time, dressed nice, holding a dessert. Same story, same address. They'd been invited by someone named Jennifer. I didn't let them in this time. I just told them through the crack in the door that there was no party, they had the wrong place. They left, but I could hear them arguing in their car before they drove off. That's when I started thinking about it. Really thinking about it. I went to the front window and looked out at the dark driveway, the empty road beyond. My aunt's house was pretty secluded. You couldn't see it from the main road. You had to know it was here. At 11:45, I was pacing, checking my phone. I tried calling my aunt, but it went to voicemail. I was starting to think I should call the police, but what would I say? People kept knocking on my door. That sounds insane. Then I heard something that made my blood stop. The back door. Someone was trying the handle, just slowly turning it, testing it. I'd locked it earlier, I was sure I had. The handle stopped moving. Then I heard footsteps on the back porch, slow and deliberate, walking around to the side of the house. I grabbed a knife from the kitchen and stood in the hallway, trying to be quiet, trying to listen. The house was old, and it creaked, but I could hear movement outside. Multiple sets of footsteps now. They weren't trying to be quiet anymore. At 11:52, all the knocking started at once. Front door, back door, the side door I'd forgotten about that led to the basement. Knock, 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 knock. Rhythmic, synchronized. I stood frozen in the hallway with that knife, my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped it. Then, silence. Complete silence. I waited, barely breathing. 1 minute, 2 minutes. At exactly midnight, every door started rattling at once. Not knocking, rattling. Like multiple people were trying to force them open simultaneously. The windows, too. I could see shadows moving past them, lots of shadows circling the house. I ran upstairs to my aunt's bedroom, locked the door, pushed her dresser in front of it, and called 911. I was crying, hyperventilating, trying to explain. The operator kept asking me to calm down, asking if anyone had gotten inside. They hadn't. That was the thing. They never tried to break in. They just kept testing, rattling the handles, walking around the house. I could hear them talking to each other now. Casual conversations, like they were at a cocktail party on my aunt's lawn. The police arrived at 12:34 a.m. By then, it had stopped. When the officers walked around the property with their flashlights, there was no one there. But there were footprints, dozens of them, in the snow all around the house, different shoe sizes, different treads. They circled the entire property. The officers were, I don't know, confused, concerned. They asked if I'd seen any faces, any cars. I hadn't. They'd all walked there, apparently, in the snow, in the middle of nowhere, on New Year's Eve. One officer found something by the back door. He called his partner over, and they both looked at it for a long time before one of them bagged it. They wouldn't tell me what it was, but I saw it before they took it. It was a party invitation. Printed nice, professional, gold lettering. It said, New Year's Eve party, 247 Hillcrest Road. Countdown to midnight. Don't be late. There was no host name, no RSVP, just the address and time. The police asked if I'd sent those out, maybe as a prank that went wrong. I hadn't. I didn't even know most people in town. They asked my aunt the next day. She had no idea what they were talking about. The officer told me they'd found 47 of those invitations. 47. Placed at different locations around town over the past week. Coffee shops, library, grocery store bulletin board. Someone had systematically invited 47 strangers to my aunt's house for New Year's Eve. They never found who sent them. They questioned a few of the people who showed up, but they were just normal people who thought they were going to a party. None of them knew each other. None of them knew who'd invited them. They'd just found the invitations and decided to go. But here's the thing that keeps me up. The thing I can't stop thinking about. When the police searched the property the next morning in daylight, they found something else. In the woods, about 100 feet from the house, there was a spot where the snow was all trampled down, like people had been standing there, watching for a long time. And in the center of that spot, someone had built a small pile of stones, balanced carefully. And on top of the stones, there was a handwritten note protected in a plastic bag. It said, "Happy New Year. See you next December." I don't live in Vermont anymore. I'm in a 4th-floor apartment in Boston now, with a doorman and security cameras. But every time someone knocks on my door unexpectedly, my whole body goes cold. And I've started dreading December. I never used to believe in coincidences. Now I don't believe in anything else. This happened last year. I just moved to Seattle for a new job, software development, pretty standard stuff. I didn't know anyone in the city, so when New Year's Eve came around, I decided to do something different. I found this resolution workshop online. Start your year with intention, or something like that. It was being held at this community center downtown, free admission, and I figured why not? Better than sitting alone in my apartment. I got there around 7. The room was set up with maybe 20 chairs in a circle, that kind of support group vibe. There were already a few people there. The woman running it introduced herself as Monica. She was probably in her 50s, had this calm therapist energy about her. Very soothing voice. She explained how it would work. We'd each share our resolutions, talk about what we wanted to change in the new year, support each other. Then at midnight, we'd do this ritual where we'd write down something we wanted to leave behind in the old year and burn it. Very California, you know? But I was into it. There were 11 of us total. I remember because Monica made a joke about how 11 was a powerful number. I sat between this guy named Derek, who was maybe my age, and an older woman named Patricia, who kept knitting through the whole thing. We went around the circle. Standard resolutions: lose weight, quit smoking, be more present with family. When it got to me, I said I wanted to be less isolated, make real connections. Everyone nodded supportively. Then we got to this guy across from me. His name was Ryan. He was probably late 20s, wore a Seahawks hoodie, seemed normal enough. But when it was his turn, he just said, "I want to know what happens next." Monica asked him what he meant. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Just what happens next, after. There was this uncomfortable pause. Monica, being a professional, just nodded and moved on. But I noticed Derek's shift in his seat. Patricia stopped knitting. We broke for coffee around 9. I was at the snack table when Derek came up next to me. "That guy Ryan, something's off about him, right?" I shrugged. "Maybe he's just going through something." "No, I mean..." Derek lowered his voice. "I've seen him before. At my gym. He just stands on the treadmill sometimes. Not running, just standing there, staring at the wall." I didn't know what to say to that. So I just made some joke about gym weirdos and walked away. But I found myself watching Ryan for the rest of the evening. He barely moved, barely blinked, just sat there with his hands in his lap, that same empty smile on his face. Around 10:30, Monica had us write down what we wanted to leave behind. I wrote "fear of vulnerability" on my slip of paper. Everyone was taking it seriously, really thinking about their answers. Ryan wrote something, but his paper was folded so tightly you couldn't see what it said. He kept running his fingers over it, smoothing it obsessively. At 11:45, Monica brought out this metal bowl for the burning ritual. She explained we'd each burn our papers one by one as we counted down to midnight, symbolically releasing the old year. Patricia went first, then Derek, then me. I watched my paper curl and blacken. Felt kind of silly, but also kind of hopeful, you know. Then Ryan stood up. He was holding his paper so tightly his knuckles were white. Monica held out the bowl, encouraging him. He dropped the paper in, and we all watched it catch fire. That's when I saw what he'd written, just for a second, as the flames consumed it. It was a list of names, our names, all 11 of us, including Monica, written in tiny, meticulous handwriting. I felt this lurch in my stomach. I looked at Derek, but he was already staring at Ryan with this expression I couldn't read. Patricia had gone very still. "Ryan," Monica said carefully, "what was that?" He looked at her, and his smile finally reached his eyes. "My resolution. I wanted to leave you all behind." The room went quiet. Someone laughed nervously. Monica tried to redirect, saying we should all share what we'd written, make it part of the communal experience. But Ryan just sat back down. "It's done now," he said. We tried to continue. Monica led us in this meditation thing, but I couldn't focus. I kept looking at Ryan, and every time I did, he was looking back. Not at me specifically, at all of us. His eyes moving from person to person in this slow, methodical pattern. At midnight, we all counted down together. Confetti, hugs, Happy New Year. Ryan didn't hug anyone. He just stood there in the center of the room while we all moved around him. Then he left. Didn't say goodbye, didn't thank Monica, just walked out. I left maybe 20 minutes later. Drove home, tried to shake off the weird feeling. Told myself it was nothing. Just some guy having a breakdown, being dramatic on New Year's Eve. 3 days later, I saw it on the news. Derek had died. Car accident on the highway, hit a barrier at full speed. Police said there were no skid marks, like he didn't even try to brake. I felt sick, but I told myself it was just a coincidence. Terrible coincidence. Then a week later, Patricia. Heart attack in her sleep. She was 72, so it wasn't exactly shocking, but still. I tried to find the community center, to contact Monica, to talk to someone from that night. But when I went back to the address, it was a storage facility. Had been for 3 years, according to the manager. There was no community center. There was no workshop that night. I started looking up the other people from the group. Social media, news articles, obituaries. I found 5 more, dead, all within 2 weeks of New Year's. Different causes: car accident, heart attack, stroke, drowning, house fire. 7 people, 7 out of 11. I tried to report it to the police, but what could I say? I went to a workshop that didn't exist, met people who are now dead, and one guy wrote our names on a piece of paper. They took my statement, but I could see they thought I was having some kind of episode. I hired a private investigator with money I didn't have. Gave her everything I could remember. Names, faces, descriptions. She found Monica. Took her 3 weeks, but she found her. Monica had been dead for 6 years. Car accident in Portland. The photo matched perfectly. There were 2 other people from that group I haven't been able to track down. I don't know if they're alive or dead. I don't know if I want to know. And Ryan. I've looked everywhere for Ryan. Nothing. No social media, no records, no one matching his description at any Seattle gym. It's like he never existed. But I saw him. We all saw him. He was there. Last week I got something in the mail. No return address. Inside was a printed invitation. New Year's Eve resolution workshop. Start your year with intention. Community center downtown. There was a date. December 31st, 2025. And at the bottom, handwritten in tiny, meticulous letters. Looking forward to seeing you again. I'm the 9th name on that list. There's one person between me and the end. I've thought about leaving the country. Thought about checking myself into a hospital. Thought about a lot of things. But here's what keeps me frozen. What if running is what kills me? What if the car accident happens on the way to the airport? What if trying to escape is exactly what he wants? So I'm still here, in my apartment, watching the calendar. It's December 15th now. I've got 16 days to decide if I'm going to that workshop. And I still don't know what I'm more afraid of, going or not going. I used to think I was a good judge of character. That's what makes this so much worse. New Year's Eve, 2024. I was bartending at this upscale hotel in downtown Minneapolis, the Meridian. Not somewhere I'd normally work, but they were desperate for staff and the pay was triple my usual rate. Private party on the top floor, some corporate thing, 200 guests, easy money. I got there at 6 to help set up. The event coordinator, this stressed-out woman named Vanessa, was running around with her clipboard, making sure everything was perfect. She kept talking about how important this client was, how much they were paying, how we couldn't screw this up. The guests started arriving around 8. Typical corporate crowd, suits, cocktail dresses, forced laughter. I was behind the main bar with another bartender, Carlos, just slinging drinks and trying to stay out of the way. Around 9, I noticed this one guy. He stood out because he seemed genuinely happy. Not drunk happy, not fake corporate happy. Actually happy. He was probably in his 60s, gray hair, kind face, and he smiled at everyone like he meant it. He'd stop and talk to people, ask them questions, really listen to their answers. In a room full of people networking and checking their phones, he was present. He came up to the bar around 9:30. "What's your name?" he asked me. "Jordan." "Jordan, that's a strong name. Are you having a good evening?" I laughed. "I'm working, so, it's fine." He leaned on the bar a little. "But are you happy? Right now, in this moment, are you happy?" It was such a weird question. I didn't know how to answer it. I'm making good money tonight." He nodded slowly. "Money, yes. But happiness, Jordan, real happiness, that's something different, isn't it?" He ordered a scotch, neat. When I handed it to him, he held eye contact just a second too long. "I hope you find it. Real happiness. Before it's too late." Then he walked away. Carlos gave me a look like, what was that about? And we both shrugged it off. But I kept noticing him throughout the night. He'd move through the crowd, stopping to talk to people. And I started seeing a pattern. After he'd talk to someone, their whole demeanor would change. They'd get quiet, thoughtful. A few people went out to the balcony alone. One woman went to the bathroom and didn't come back for 20 minutes. Around 10:30, Vanessa came to the bar looking pale. She ordered a vodka tonic, downed it in 3 gulps, ordered another. "You okay?" I asked. She shook her head. "That man, Mr. Carver, he asked me if I was happy. And I said yes, obviously. And he just smiled and said, 'Then why are you crying right now?' And I wasn't crying. But then I looked in my phone camera and..." She touched her cheek. "I was? I am. I don't know why I'm crying." I looked across the room. Mr. Carver was talking to a young guy in a suit. The guy was nodding, smiling, but his hands were shaking. "Who is he?" I asked. "The client. He organized the whole party. It's his company's event. He's been planning it for months, apparently. Insisted on New Year's Eve. Insisted on this specific venue, this specific floor." Carlos was listening now, too. "What company?" "Some pharmaceutical thing? I don't know. He paid cash up front for everything. $500,000. That felt wrong. Who pays cash for a corporate party? But it was almost 11. We were slammed, and I pushed it out of my mind. At 11:15, Mr. Carver came back to the bar. This time he didn't order anything. He just stood there, watching me work. "Jordan," he said finally, "can I tell you something?" "Sure." Everyone in this room, right now, is on the edge of a decision. The most important decision they'll ever make. I kept making drinks, trying to be polite. "What decision is that?" "Whether to keep going." My hand stopped moving. I looked at him. He was still smiling, but there was something behind his eyes. Something empty. "I don't understand," I said. "You will. In about 40 minutes, you will." He walked away. I wanted to say something to Carlos, but there was a crowd at the bar. People wanting champagne for midnight, and I got pulled back into work mode. At 11:45, Vanessa got on the microphone to announce the countdown was starting soon. She invited everyone out to the balcony to watch the fireworks. The balcony was huge, wrapped around 3 sides of the building. People started filing out, excited, drunk, ready for midnight. I was supposed to stay at the bar, but I needed some air. I told Carlos I'd be back in a minute and stepped out onto the balcony. That's when I saw it. The layout. The balcony railing was low, really low. Below code, probably. And there were all these little gaps between people, these spaces near the edge. Mr. Carver was moving through the crowd, still talking to people, still asking his questions. And every person he talked to would drift toward the railing, not obviously, just gradually. They'd end up standing right at the edge, looking down at the street 43 floors below. I counted. There were 27 people at the railing, all of them spaced evenly. All of them people I'd seen Mr. Carver talk to. My heart started pounding. I went back inside, found Vanessa. "Something's wrong," I said. "What? What's wrong?" "That guy, Carver. I think I don't know. Something's wrong. We need to get people away from the railing." She looked at me like I was insane. "Jordan, it's 5 minutes to midnight. Everyone's drunk and happy. What are you talking about?" I couldn't explain it. I sounded paranoid. But I went back out to the balcony. Carlos came with me this time. The countdown started. 60 seconds. People were cheering, holding up their phones. Mr. Carver was standing in the center of the balcony. Not near the edge. Just watching, waiting. 30 seconds. I started moving toward the railing, toward the people standing too close to the edge. Carlos was behind me, confused, but following. 20 seconds. I reached the first person, a woman in a red dress. Her eyes were glassy. She was swaying slightly. I touched her arm. "Hey, maybe step back a little?" She didn't look at me, just kept staring down. 10 seconds. Everyone was counting. 10, 9, 8. I grabbed the woman's arm, pulled her back. She stumbled, looked at me like she was waking up from a dream. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Fireworks exploded over the city. Everyone was cheering, hugging, kissing, except the people at the railing. All 27 of them. They just stood there, silent, looking down at the street. And then, one by one, they stepped back. Away from the edge. Blinking, confused. Like they didn't know how they'd gotten there. I looked for Mr. Carver. He was standing in the doorway, looking right at me. He wasn't smiling anymore. He mouthed 2 words. "Not yet." Then he walked inside. I followed him, pushing through the crowd. Carlos was yelling something behind me, but I couldn't hear him. I had to find Carver. Had to understand what just happened. I searched the whole floor. Bathrooms, coat check, kitchen. He was gone. I asked Vanessa about him. She said he'd left. Paid his bill, thanked her, left. "What company did he say he was with?" I asked. She checked her files, frowned. "That's weird. There's no company name, just his name and a phone number." She called it disconnected. I went home at 3 a.m. exhausted and confused. Tried to convince myself I'd overreacted. People get contemplative at New Year's, stand at railings, look at city lights. It didn't mean anything. But I couldn't stop thinking about what he'd said. Not yet. 3 weeks later, I was scrolling through local news. There was a story about a woman who jumped from her apartment building. 32nd floor. I recognized her face from the photo. She was wearing a red dress in her profile picture. I found 4 others since then. Suicides. All within a month of that party. All people who were standing at that railing. I don't know how many more there will be. And last week, I got a letter. Handwritten. Expensive paper. Dear Jordan, thank you for your service on New Year's Eve. You have a gift for seeing what others miss. I have another event planned for this December 31st, a different venue. different guests. I'd like you to bartend again. Triple your usual rate. Please call to confirm. With optimism, E. Carver. There was a phone number at the bottom. I called it yesterday. I don't know why. Maybe I thought I could stop him. Maybe I thought I could understand. A voicemail picked up. His voice. Warm. Kind. Hello, Jordan. I knew you'd call. Yes, I'd like you to work the party. But I should tell you something first. That night, at the Meridian, you saved 27 lives. For a moment, you pulled them back. But here's what you need to understand. I didn't fail. I simply gave them a choice. And eventually, when the weight becomes too much, they'll make it. They always do. The question is, when you see it happening again, will you try to stop me? Or will you finally understand that some people are looking for permission to let go? And the kindest thing we can do is give it to them. See you December 31st. I've already sent your contract. I haven't opened the envelope yet. It's sitting on my kitchen table, and I don't know if I'm going to work that party. But I think I already know the answer. Because he's right about one thing. I do see what others miss. And I saw something else that night, something I haven't told anyone. When those 27 people stepped back from the railing, when they blinked and looked confused, they all looked disappointed.